ESPN Radio. Nike almost wasn't Nike.
Wings. They're popular for both dine-in and carry-out. Now the word is getting out about Wings Etc's appetizer lineup. From the ultimate nachos to the deep-fried pickle spears, frankly, they're irresistible. Friends are sharing time together at Wings Etc. They've got dining rooms filled with HD TVs tuned to the best sports programming, including NFL Sunday Ticket. The people at the next table are talking about Wings Etc's daily half-pound lunch special, starting at just $6.49. Plus, Wings Etc. has food and drink specials throughout the week, including 59-cent wings every Monday. Plus, there's the kids menu, and Wings Etc. is family-friendly with video games in the dining room. And the whole community is excited about how Wings Etc. is locally owned and operated, and they're proud to support local athletes, their families, schools, and teams. I guess Wings Etc. is a really big deal around here.
The Redhawks football team opens the season Saturday night at the University of Memphis at 6 o'clock. Our exclusive pregame coverage starts Saturday at 5:30 on SEMO ESPN 92.9, Rio Rock 99.3, and online at SEMOESPN.com. Redhawks football presented by Moreland Pre-Owned Center on Seamers Drive in Cape, by Southeast Health. When cost and quality matter, choose Southeast Health. And by the Cape Girardeau Conservation Nature Center at Cape County Park North.
And now, your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
National Weather Service says look out for a pop-up storm today, otherwise a high of 90. Tonight down to 71 under partly cloudy skies. A 40% chance of storms tomorrow with temperatures in the middle 80s. Turns cooler towards the end of the week. Real nice. 81 sunny on Thursday, 81 on Friday. Low 80s on Saturday, 87 or so. Sunshine on Sunday.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network. This is your local home for Mike and Mike, the Sports Huddle, and all your favorite teams. Get it all right here.
Makes my day go great.
On the SEMO ESPN Sports Network. This is a proud presentation of Mississippi River Radio Sports, the sports authority.
And now, at last,
it's time for the Redhawks Coacher Show on the SEMO ESPN Radio Sports Network.
I have more to tell you.
The Southeast Coacher Show airs every Tuesday at noon on ESPN 92.9 FM and 1220 AM. Live from Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson. This is your chance to delve deep into the Redhawks football season with head coach Tom Matukowicz.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
let's go live to Wings Etc.
Let's go!
Right here on SEMO ESPN.
We are ready to get the football season cranked up. It is the inaugural Coaches Show of 2016. Coach Tom Matukowicz is here, and we are at our normal location, Wings, etc., in Cape Girardeau. We'll be here for the first 2 weeks. Then we'll swing over to Jackson for a week, and then we'll be back here in Cape. We'll keep you updated on where we will be. But the first 2 shows right here at Wings, etc., in Cape Girardeau, who, by the way, Wings, etc., voted #1 wings in Southeast Missouri in the People's Choice Awards from the Southeast Missouri. And I think I saw a celebration cake that we're all going to get a chance to get a nibble off of in celebration, being voted #1 in the Southeast Missourians People's Choice Award for Best Wings in Southeast Missouri. In addition to their wings, they have a full menu, including freshly made burgers. They have wraps, subs, quesadillas. If you'd like an entree salad, they can help you out there. Smoked ribs available on the Wings, etc. menu. And they have their famous appetizer lineup. That includes their ultimate nachos, their deep-fried pickle spears. And you'll notice when you walk in, they have a dining room full of high-definition televisions tuned into the best sports programming, including the NFL Sunday Ticket. Football season is here. It's a comfortable, laid-back family atmosphere, and they have great food and friendly service. So we hope you'll join us. Wings, etc. will be here until 1 o'clock every Tuesday at noon during the college football season. Redhawks head coach Tom Matukowicz is here. Did you see the celebration cake that he was walking around here earlier?
No, but I can promise you this. Joe knows how to do a lot of things and celebrate and cook good foods, 2 of them. You know, one thing you didn't mention are these rib tips. Have you had the rib tips yet?
I have not.
I think it's Rib Tip Tuesday. Is that right? And so now they're a hair spicy, and so you know Tic Tacs wear me out. So I got to be a little careful there. But I'll snag me a couple of them before I get out of here.
Rib Tip Tuesday. I'm just happy to see Joe Hobbs with a shirt on. I was watching the Redhawks football with Coach Took last night. And he appeared a couple of times. I saw a nipple. It was too much. It was really.
Yeah, I was overstimulated the same way, but I was hoping he wouldn't have it on today. It's go time, baby. It's game week. We got to roll. Your wife's here, so I know she's going to put you yeah, exactly.
We said Tip Tuesday, not Nip Tuesday, Joe, so thanks so much. Hey, we've got all conference safety Eric Moore. He is going to join us coming up in just a few moments. And Eric Moore, one of 4. Give us a minute. We'll get right back on the air. 1 second. We lost power here.
I think my knee hit this power strip.
Maybe that was it.
There's a power strip right there. So
give us 1 second here. And I think we're back. Yeah, and we are back. Coach Took really wreaking havoc with the coaches show here. I don't know. Do you have the restless leg syndrome? You're getting a little kicky there under the table. Yeah. Our power just went down.
Yeah, I'm definitely. You got to watch me now.
Now you know that it all stems from us talking about Joe Hobbs going shirtless, but he is fully clothed here today. And we mentioned we've got Eric Moore, Coach, coming on the show, one of your senior captains on the defense, and we'll certainly get into how exciting the defense has been, how opportunistic the defense has been. Eric Moore, one of those guys who was a playmaker for you on the defensive side. Talk a little bit about his leadership before we'll have him on after the first break, but leadership, one of the big intangibles for Eric Moore, right?
Yeah, you know, there are leaders that aren't vocal, and then there's Eric Moore. It wouldn't matter if it's 5:30 in the morning or 5:30 at night. Man, he comes out of practice talking. And so I appreciate that because he gets everybody going, and we need guys like that. One of the best thing he has, and I love players, so I always study players. I study Eric a lot. And you say, well, what does he do well? He has a Pentium 5000 processor.
Wow.
I mean, he could process, it's just like a player receives information and gets his body to react. That processor and his ability to respond is as good as I've seen. And so that's why he can make plays on balls. That's why he can strip it out last second, all those little things that it takes to be a successful player. And more than anything, I just appreciate his competitive. Like, he wants to be great. He really, really does. He walked on here, and we were able to give him a full scholarship. And there's no better one to start this whole thing off. He's kind of fancy, pretty looking. He's got these big earrings and all that stuff. So I worry about that. He wants to be a coach. And so I told him, hey, when you do, I'm going to schedule you. I'm going to beat you by 50 because your team's going to be soft because you dress like that. But I'm just kidding, obviously.
Now, where do earrings rank in terms of valuable apparel for a coach?
I don't currently have any. I'm not against it, but a lot of people say, well, if you have long hair and you wear earrings, you're not disciplined. I mean, that grow up, right? And so really your actions tell me everything I need to know. So I don't care what they wear or tattoos or whatever, that doesn't necessarily tell the story about who you are as a person, but how you look's a big deal to young people. So I'm all for what they're into.
You should see the shoes that Eric has on today. Now, those are some good looking shoes.
Those are fancy. There are definitely none of those in Coach Tuk's office.
We'll talk with Eric Moore, the Redhawks All-Conference Senior Safety, coming up. Now, you talked about Eric Moore earning a scholarship. This video was very popular when it was shared on the GoSoutheast.com website, and that is your long snapper for this season, a Cape Central graduate, Zach Stagner, a sophomore from Cape Girardeau Central. You set the stage for us because at the end of one of your practices at camp, some police officers rolled up to Houck Stadium, and they met you kind of off to the side of the field. You walked over, talked to the police officers. They came up, and they were looking for Zach. Yeah. Well, you try, my team's getting harder to trick because I keep, pulling these things off, but you want to, there's lots of reason for that. That's a special moment. And so you want to, it's just like your kids, you want to create an environment for it. And the best thing about that thing was the players' reaction. Because, there's 20 people in that are kneeling there that don't have a scholarship. And they were all thrilled for Zach because of the work he's put in. Explain to people that have not seen the video. These cops come up after practice, and they are looking for Zach. So they came up and they said, hey, is there a Zach Stagner present? And you could just see him. I mean, he was white as a ghost. And he raised his hand, so brought him up, and he said, hey, do you live at 101 South Park? He said, yes. And he says, well, this is the report we got on you. You're an unbelievable teammate. You've had over a 3.0 since you got here. You've worked really, really hard, and because of that, you're going to be our starting long snapper against Memphis, and because of that, you're now on a full ride scholarship, and I mean, just got mobbed, and it was awesome, right? Can you believe they pay me to do this? That's pretty good stuff. The player reaction, now, if you've not seen the video, I'm sure it's still up on the football page at GoSoutheast.com. Go look at it, but the players, not only did they mob him, but then all of a sudden they've got him lifted up, and Zach is up there pumping his fist. Yeah, long snappers getting lifted up like that I don't think happens too much. But, again, he made the story even better. You don't know about your long snapper until something bad happens usually. And just appreciate – he's an example of the rest of our team that has worked really, really hard over the summer. All right, let's get into it. As you get ready to start season number 3, let everybody know why you think season number 3 under a new head coaching staff is one of the most important years. Well, I feel like, I've been a part of 3 turnarounds at other jobs, and I knew I wanted to be a head coach someday, so I paid attention to Coach Gill and what he did. And so
each of those turnarounds, year 3 is when things started turning around. I'm not sure why. It just seemed to happen. And so that's what I built this thing on. And, hopefully that happens. We know that the wins are coming. If it's this year or next year, I'm not sure. But we certainly feel good about our opportunities this year.
And as far as your coaching staff, you have moved some guys around, including a new offensive coordinator, John Wiemers.
Yeah, I hired John because he's a great leader of men. People follow John. He's obviously a great football coach, and we really need that leadership on that side of the ball and try to get everybody going. I think our defense will be ahead of our offense, through the first part of the season because that's just where we're at. But I see that side of the ball really starting to come together, and the difference about offense is you got to try and set that 2 deep a lot sooner than defense. Defense, it doesn't matter if you're 1 or 2, you're playing a lot. Where offense, it's all about who's in those positions and they're getting the reps. And so we're still a work in progress on that side of the ball, but I certainly like where we're headed.
And as far as the offense goes, it's got to feel good as a head coach, and I'm sure with Coach Wiemers as an offensive coordinator, to have an offensive line intact that has 77 combined Division I starts under their belt.
Absolutely. That's the whole thing. Like right now you're going to be able to handle the line of scrimmage in the OVC. Now, I don't know what Memphis will look like, but I know once we get into our OVC play, they're going to be as talented as anyone that we'll face. And really, we've been able to turn that thing because when I first got here, our lines were some of the smallest in the league. I mean, we're just small people. And so we've been able to recruit and to get our guys bigger and stronger, and I think that'll really help.
And the only guy on that offensive line that does not have a Division I start under his belt is Drew Forbes. Everybody else, Garrett Baker, all conference, 22 starts. Jake McCandless at center, 33 consecutive starts. Michael Cook, 11 starts. And then Alex Snyder, interesting, started all 11 games last year, but it was at left tackle. He'll be at right tackle this year.
Yeah, and Drew played a lot. He didn't start, but he got 10 to 20 snaps a game. Towards the end, he got even more. So he's pretty seasoned, and I'm telling you right now, Drew Forbes, you'll remember that name. I mean, for a sophomore right now, he's a scary individual now. I mean, he is big, agile, and he's starting to get the kind of mentality, that physicalness that you really want to see. So he's going to be a guy that, people will be talking about for a long time, I believe.
And as your starting left tackle, you didn't have to travel very far to recruit him. He's from Bonne Terre. He's from North County High School.
Yep, North County High School, and just fortunate that he wanted to stay home. He was a guy that got recruited from a lot of our opponents, and he fell in love with the coaching staff and us being close to home. Was important to him. He's got a great family, and glad he's here.
Now, there isn't a big rivalry going on between him and Roper Garrett, right? I mean, at Farmington, North County, those are blood. That's like Cape and Jackson around here.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. They talk a lot, but they didn't play against each other, so that was good. There was enough space in there.
As far as the offense, the question I'm sure you got the most leading up until you made the decision who was going to be the starting quarterback. Dante Vandeven was the OVC Freshman of the Year last year, really played well, starting the final 8 games of the season for you. A dual threat quarterback, that seems to be the hot term now, is dual threat. Well, he was able not only to throw the football, 11 touchdown passes, but he also ran for 6. So you kind of knew what you had in Dante Vandeven. Then you bring in a junior college transfer, Jesse Hoskett. And according to you, a very close race, but Jesse Hoskett is the guy who will start opening night.
Yeah, I mean, as a head coach, everybody wants to be a head coach until you got to name the starting quarterback, and it's tough. And the thing about that is we don't scrimmage live. So the quarterbacks have not been hit all fall camp. And so I'm making a educated guess because we don't really know when the lights come on. And, I had to name someone, so I did, and we're ready to move forward. Both will play. I'm not going to talk about the plan, even though it is decided, because I'm sure a Memphis intern right now is eating lunch, listening to my my talk about it.
Well,
So,
welcome in, Tiger
yeah.
intern. Yeah.
We'll see you Saturday.
Now, as far as Jesse Hoskett goes, wouldn't be thrown into the category of a dual threat quarterback, more of a traditional pocket guy. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think if you just say what does he do well, he could sling it, but they're not where we have this menu for this guy and this menu for that guy. Yeah. We'll run our offense no matter who's in there.
And as far as Hoskett in junior college, he comes to Southeast from East Central Community College. Now, that's down in Mississippi. They finished ranked 10th in the nation junior college total rankings. That's a really good league that he plays in. They send guys to Power 5 conferences at FBS down in that junior college league in Mississippi, right?
Yes. I mean, that's the best point you made, maybe since I've been doing this show with you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
When someone says, "Hey, coach, I got a quarterback I want you to look at," I look at record. I don't care what league you're in. If you are a good quarterback, you have a good team. That's how important that is. That junior college is terrible. I mean, they were terrible before Jesse. His coach is friends with Len and I, and go way back. Ken Karcher. He was actually a quarterback at Kansas City Chiefs. He offered me a job way back when, but he called me, and I'm telling you, he went to war for Jesse and said, I want him to play for you too, because he had a lot of guys looking after him, and so that's why we chose to take him, and we wanted competition at that thing. And since I've been here, we've played multiple quarterbacks, and I'm telling you, we're going to need Dante to win. We're going to need Jesse to win, and it's more 1A and 1B. It's not, a 1 and a 2. And it's hard because Dante's here, and everybody, he goes to class. Hell, half the class knows him because they're from Jackson. And hey, what happened? Nothing's happened. I'm a better player than I was a year ago. That's what happened. And so, we're going to work this thing out, but very blessed to have both those guys.
And when you look at Jesse Hoskett, a big guy, 6'4", he's over 200 pounds, completed his passes last year, Coach, at a 61% clip. Tell us a little bit about, his arm strength, accuracy, some of his intangibles, what Red Hawk fans are going to see when he lines up under center Saturday.
Well, Eric could speak to that a lot because he's a DB, and I could tell you he's got a great arm, not a good arm, a great arm. He could throw lots of balls, got good accuracy. At the end of the day, though, he doesn't have a history with the wideouts, and he hasn't. The timing and the rhythm is all the things that we're trying to get done. Finish up this week. He's a really, really consistent individual. He was named on our leadership council, so I'll tell you a little bit about his character. Not an emotional guy, kind of the same way every day. Just a really rock solid dude.
This is year 3 for you. This is starting quarterback number 4. Kyle Snyder was a guy your first year, and he was able to answer the bell every game. Tay Bender for the first 3 last year. Dante Vandeven for the final 8. Now Jesse Hoskett. When you're trying to establish traction in a program, a little more challenging with as many quarterbacks as you've had.
Yeah. I mean, when I got here, the recruiting model at quarterback was disgusting. I had 3 quarterbacks on scholarship, and none of them had a 3.0. I mean, so we had to really go through that, and we've had to bring some guys in. And really, a good football program should never be in a situation where a true freshman has to step in at that position. And we were, and he did, and we're better for it. And I think that'll help us down the road this season.
All right, you have to replace Tremaine McCullough in the backfield. Now, wait a minute, everybody. Where's Trey McCullough? Well, he's not in the backfield anymore, at least not at tailback. Tremaine McCullough, who was the second leading rusher in the league. He led the league in 100-yard rushing games with 6. Just a phenomenal season. You've decided I like him as a slot receiver in this offense. Maybe a chance to get him the ball in space a little bit more. Talk about your decision to move Tremaine McCullough to a different position.
Well, he's a guy that, we want the ball in his hands. And when the ball's in his hand, he's at his best when he's in space. And so, a lot of times we have the big wideouts on the edge, but those safeties are covering slots. And so we wanted a guy that had the wiggle and the speed that could take the top off the coverage, but also a guy that we could just pitch it to, hand it to, throw it to, that can have a little space and maybe get a matchup on a linebacker or something where maybe we can have more explosive plays than we did a year ago. And so we also feel really good about our running back depth to be able to do that. Will Young's a guy that no one's heard. He was a walk-on player from Kansas, a junior college in Kansas, has earned a full scholarship. And I think you're going to really like his running style and just his physicality from the running back spot.
Let me ask you, with McCullum, he's a smaller guy. He's listed at 5'10", 170. Does it decrease the potential wear and tear on him and maybe some of the shots that he takes, that he's not running it from behind the offensive line, that he's going to be out in front of the offensive line for a lot of touches? I know he'll probably take some balls behind the line of scrimmage. Would that decrease maybe the wear and tear and maybe the overall hits that he would absorb?
Yep, for sure. I think what you don't want is, get tackles one thing, but you don't want the direct impact. And so, like I said, out in space will help him there. One thing about him, though, he's tough as a boot. Now, it's hard to get him injured. Pound for pound, he's the toughest player on the team. He's not 5'10", and he's not 170 either. He's on the short end of both of those numbers.
So Will Young is a kid that came out of junior college, Highland Community College. He's a Texas native from Wichita. But in his junior college, only 68 carries in 2 seasons. And you look, he just didn't get as much playing time. Other guys ahead of him that touched the football a lot more. So, for one, the mileage on him is maybe reduced from someone else. And secondly, this is the first time really that he's going to be getting a real opportunity to be the number one cat, right?
Yep. And I'm telling you, he's going to do a great job. He was out there yesterday on our day off running through the ladders. He wants it. He's physical. He's my kind of tailback. I wouldn't want to play against him. That's how I look at it. And, especially with our offensive line, I think that's going to be a good fit.
Chase Abington is listed behind Will Young on the depth chart. And Chase Abington is a guy that comes out of the University of Missouri, a 4-star recruit. Didn't see a lot of time at Mizzou, so now he is here. What do we need to know as a Red Hawk fan about Chase Abington and what you expect to see from him?
Well, he came into camp not in shape, and so it's taken him a little longer. Right now he's in shape. He's picking up the offense and has worked himself up to number 2. And we're really glad he's here. We're glad he's 210 pounds. Again, he's a big, strong guy that we're going to need some depth there. And, he turned it over a little bit in fall camp, so he's got to continue to work on his ball security, but we feel very comfortable about him.
You were the best team in the league in turnover margin, a +10, number 1. You had a OVC low 3 lost fumbles. That's something that is very big with you.
Yes, and you can ask Abington my feeling about how he turned it over, and like he would tell you that I'm pretty serious.
You're serious about a lot of stuff, but turnovers are one of the big ones.
Yeah, like I there's no other stat that determines the game like turnover margin. You got to be able to control that, and so if we say it's important, but we put a guy out there that's going to turn over, and not very smart. Eric's does a great job of getting the ball out, and our defense does a really good job, which is a big part of it also. But we have to take care of the football.
Yeah, the touchdown Eric Moore scored last year against SIU, who, by the way, is next week's opponent. Wide receiver. Obviously, you've got a guy in an NFL camp on Hard Knocks, Paul McRoberts with the Los Angeles Rams. Big shoes to fill. I'm not saying anyone's going to step in and take over for Paul McRoberts, but you'll have guys lining up in the same spot. that McRoberts occupied for the last several years. Let's talk a little bit about your wide receiving core. One name that might jump out to some people is a guy that transfers from a Power 5 conference, C.J. Curry from Oklahoma State. Didn't see a lot of reps on the field. I think 3 catches in the time that he was at Oklahoma State University, but certainly an athlete if he's playing at Oklahoma State in the Big 12.
Yeah, he was also a 4-star recruit. So, he's a big, strong athlete. Probably the best thing about it, he's come in and fit in. Like he's already has our players' respect and about how he goes about his process. And so look for big things from him. But we also have several others. Christian Wilkerson, Tyler McLemore, and Adrian Davis are all big, strong wideouts that's done a good job. So we don't have the Paul, but we definitely have the depth. And since I've been here, we get a wideout banged up. It's really been hard. And now I feel like we have, 5 to 6 wideouts that can really come in and keep the level of play up.
When last we saw Adrian Davis, he tore his ACL last year, but as a freshman All-American, 6'3", very athletic. I know at that point you said very high ceiling, and you were right. He was a freshman All-American. Coming back from a knee injury, and the one thing that you kept talking about with Adrian, he is skinny. We need to put some muscle on those bones. He's got the height. He's got the athleticism. How about Adrian Davis here in 2016?
Well, you look at it, he was a freshman All-American, and he's not starting this year. That's how good a depth we have at wideout. Like, we have got some good players there, and I think Adrian will eventually get in there. It's just coming off that knee injury is taking a little bit, but he's put some good film out there and continue to try to get his body right. And one thing he could do is he can high point a ball, and he's got real strong hands, and so we're going to need him. And I just look I'm just like you really don't know what you have until you play.
Yeah.
I mean, until we play, you don't really know, and that's the most exciting thing about a coach is let's put the ball out there and let's get it on and let's find out what we got here, and then that way we know where we need to get better at.
Well, we'll get your thoughts on the defensive unit coming up, but we want to talk with somebody who plays on the defensive unit, Eric Moore. We'll do that after the timeout. Give us one of your best Eric Moore stories before we bring him on here.
There's probably too many to mention, but he might talk about a team meeting that we had that Coach Tuke wasn't too proud of. He lost his composure where E. Moore's involved in. But since then, we've hugged it out. We're like bro friends right now, and we're rolling.
All right, Eric Moore and the flashy shoes. He's got some on. Everyone will get a look at that here at Wings, etc. when we come back. All-conference safety Eric Moore will join us when we return. It's the inaugural Coaches Show, Wings, etc. in Cape. Wings, etc. voted #1 Wings in Southeast Missouri in the People's Choice Award by the Southeast Missourian. You're listening to the Coaches Show live on SEMO ESPN.
Station has been growing about Wings, etc. See, Wings
This is Mike Greenberg for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
Welcome back. It is the Redhawks Coaches Show with Coach Tuke. We are live at our normal location, Wings, etc., in Cape Girardeau, and we'll be back here again next Tuesday and every Tuesday, not only during football season, through basketball season, and also through spring sports season. So we are just beginning a long run here at Wings, etc. And we want to remind you, the Southeast Missourian People's Choice Awards, the people have spoken, and they have voted Wings the best wings in Southeast Missouri. So make sure you get in here, try that award-winning wing sauce and wings recipes, and try everything else. I mean, if you're going to come out for lunch, try their daily half-pound lunch specials. They start at just $6.49. They have food and drink specials throughout the week, including their 59-cent wings on Mondays. They've got a terrific kids menu. They've got family-friendly video games in the dining room. They're open 7 days a week. And on the weekends, they're open late because the games run late. It's Wings, etc., our home for the Redhawks Coaches Show. We just talked a little bit about the Redhawk offense getting ready for the Memphis game on Saturday night. And we are going to talk now about the defense. And one of the members of the defensive unit, all-conference safety Eric Moore, joins us here at Wings. Did you already get the lunch order in?
Yes, sir, I did. I got some of the sweet chili wings. I'm a really big fan of them. Really big fan. I got some loaded fries.
So loaded fries. Now, for those who may not know Wings loaded fries, what comes on the loaded fries?
Oh, you got your cheese, your bacon, sour cream or ranch, but I'm a sour cream guy, so I got a lot of sour cream.
A lot of sour cream. And the what did you say? The cheese or the chili wings?
Yes, sir, sweet chili wings.
Sweet chili. Now, I have not tried that. Tell us about those.
They're kind of, you may think they're spicy, but they're more of a sweet. And it's the boneless wings. They're just fabulous. They're loaded in sauce, loaded with the sweet chili sauce. Joe likes the cha-cha.
Joe Hobbs here doing some sort of what he considers a cha-cha. I'm not sure anyone else would consider that move a cha-cha move, but as long as Joe believes it, then that's the important thing. Wings, etc. Eric Moore, the Redhawks all-conference safety, joining us here. The only problem that I've ever had in your time being as a Redhawk is the spelling of your first name. We all know the real way to spell Eric is E-R-I-K, but we'll let it slide with E-R-I-Q. How many comments have you gotten about that over the years? And every teacher you've ever had has misspelled your first name. It's been E-R-I-C your whole life, right?
E-R-I-Q. E-R-I-Q.
I know it's Q, but your teachers growing up probably spelled it E-R-I-C the first time, right?
Yeah, every time. They always ask, am I saying it correctly? Is it just like the regular Eric? And I always tell them the story. My mom, she named me Eric because I don't know if you all remember, but Eric LaSalle, he played from Coming to America. And he also, ER. That's the show that she watched a lot, and she was a big fan of him, and she even admitted she had a little crush on him. So I came after the name that the spelling of my name came from Eric LaSalle, Coming to America.
With my name being E-R-I-K, I got the same thing you did, E-R-I-C. Everybody wants to spell our name E-R-I-C.
Yeah, so now we can let them know the E-R-I-Q.
See, you're only the second one that I know of E-R-I-Q. I knew about Eric LaSalle, who, by the way, Soul Glow.
Yeah.
Get your Soul Glow.
Yeah.
That's for Coming to America for anybody that wants to pull out that one. That's a good movie.
That is a good one. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the defensive unit, man. I mean, just on paper, you guys are loaded. I mean, the front seven looks really, really good. A lot of experience. 4 linebackers. I don't know. Probably all 4 of these linebackers could probably start on any team in the Ohio Valley Conference. And then in the defensive secondary, 2 all-conference guys. You, Mike Ford, what are your thoughts about the defense getting ready to go to Memphis on Saturday?
Well, I'm real excited about our defense. Like you said, we have a lot of returning starters, a lot of guys that's played in the system since the coaches got here. Our front seven, I mean, they're amazing. I think they make the secondary job a lot easier. And sometimes I don't think those guys get enough credit for the stuff that our secondary is able to do. I mean, without those front 7 guys, I don't think myself nor Mike would be able to get the accolades that we have gotten. I mean, we're just a good unit, tight unit. Really, really like each other. You know, we're on the field. We all have the same goal. It's kind of a culture thing that we play, kind of run to the ball, kind of got an attitude to us. And I think that's what's make us really good. Really excited just to really play and just really compete, hit 55 and go play against Memphis.
60 tackles for you last year, third most on the team, second on the team in interceptions. And that's where you guys really made some plays in that defensive secondary. You and Mike Ford really taking the ball away. You, in terms of fumble recoveries, the touchdown against SIU, against the Salukis. Talk about the mindset in that defensive secondary about making plays and turning teams over.
I mean, you heard Coach Took said turnovers. I mean, that's the number one statistic that determines winning and losing. Teams that get 3 or more turnovers in the game has I think 98, 96% chance of winning. So we stress it a lot on the defensive end, take the ball away. I mean, our coaches, they stress it to us all around our facilities. You may see like balls around it. You can punch at during the day. You can try to strip it. Main thing is just get the football. I mean, this game is the football is so important that they named the game after it. So I think that the team that has the ball more should win, and then usually they do. So we can get the football on defense to give our team a better chance of winning.
And it's not only just punching the football out. I remember the first time I ever saw a guy take the football away from a player and run it the other way for a touchdown was Super Bowl 12. I was a kid. It was the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys. One of the Cowboys came up and stripped Terry Bradshaw and ran it into the end zone. I saw you do that against the Salukis at Hawk Stadium this past year. Talk about just running up and taking the ball away from somebody.
Well, it's really we stress a lot of running to the ball on defense. So if you're the first guy there, the first thing first, you want to stop his momentum. You want to try to tackle him, get him down. If you're the second, third guy there, we stress get the ball out. I mean, strip it from him, punch at it, just get the ball out. And on that play, I was the second guy there. I saw the receiver was kind of handled a little sloppy, got in there, was able to rip it out, pick it up, and return it for a touchdown.
Talk about some of your greatest moments as a Division I player. That would have to rank up there.
Yeah, that one's pretty high. I like that one. Another good one I liked a lot was Murray State 2 years ago. We went to Murray State and played there. We did a little different defensive scheme, and I was playing more of a kind of nickel position. I was kind of man-to-man coverage a little bit over the top and even got the blitz a couple of times. But I really liked that I was able to do a lot more things that game. And I think that the best story from that game was when I got an interception against Murray State, and that was fun.
You had a pretty good one, I believe. Was it your freshman year or your sophomore? Let's see. Freshman year against Jacksonville State, 72-yard interception return.
Yes, sir. Freshman year. That was actually at the beginning of the year, I wasn't playing as much. The year went on. I started playing a lot of special teams. The closer we got to the end, it was like the last 2 games, I actually got to play a lot of meaningful snaps. Austin Peay game was before that. I played in that game. I finished with 10 tackles, and that was a good game for me. And then the next game, Jacksonville State, it was fun. We went there. I was able – quarterback kind of threw it to me. D-line, they got a nice pressure on the quarterback, threw it up, and I was able to pick it off and return it for 72.
How much does it help a defense? And by the way, it's Eric Moore, Redhawks All-Conference senior safeties out of St. Louis. When you talk about the way that your defensive line and linebackers can put pressure on the opposing quarterbacks, I believe second in the league in sacks this past year, how much does that help a defensive secondary when the front line or the front 7 can put pressure on a quarterback?
Oh, that is – I mean, those guys, a lot of times their name isn't mentioned, some of the stuff they do. I mean, no one talks about it, but the amount of pressure that our defensive line and our front 7 as a whole put on a quarterback is just unbelievable. I mean, we stress that the best pass defense is a pass rush. I mean, us secondary guys, we love the big people. We love the guys that get out the quarterback for us because they're making our jobs a lot more easier. How
many tackles do you think Roper Garrett has taken away from you over the years? It seems like maybe you're closing in on somebody, and there comes Garrett. Boom, he's down.
See, I like Roper because Roper, he's a middle linebacker that he plays sideline to sideline. I mean, he's everywhere. And when the guy's coming through, if I see Roper in the front, I know that he's probably not going to make it to me because Roper, he's a really good tackler. He's led our team in tackles the last 2 years, I believe. And I like Roper, man. Roper, we're both on a leadership council together. We're a guy. Roper's a guy that we both started playing when the coaches first came here. We both played a lot for him, and we've both been kind of on the defense from that. So, man, Roper have a really good relationship, and even though he does steal a couple of tackles from me.
Now, you do have two really good cornerbacks. Mike Ford, who was among the OVC leader in interceptions last year, all conference, and Jamar Holloway. But guys who have played a lot of Division I snaps at a very important position, cornerback.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience on our defense as a whole, but in the cornerback position especially. I mean, both of those guys, I got faith in both of those guys. Both of them are really fast, which is really good at the cornerback position because that means people really can't run by you that much. And then Mike, he started every game for us last year, I believe. Jamal, he transferred last year and came and did well for us. So I'm really confident in him. I really think that our secondary is great with those two at corners, and then you got me and Brian Moore at safety. I think we're a tough secondary. We really try to pride ourselves on being tough individuals. Don't want no receiver think they can come in and run over us and kind of have a mentality.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Ryan Moore is making the transition from cornerback to safety. How big of a transition is that for a guy?
It's not that big in a way. Our defense, we got our safeties playing man coverage a little bit. Our safeties kind of leaders of our defense, but Ryan Moore, he's a really hard worker. Someone that's very coachable, like he's listening. He's always willing to pick up, willing to learn, do whatever's best for the team, and I think that he'll be great at safety.
So what's a scouting report for you guys on Memphis? They have a couple of really good running backs. Dorland Dorso, over 1,000 yards. He's in the top 30 all-time rushing. They've got another running back who has started 22 games, Sam Kraft. They do have a new quarterback, so I don't know how tough it is to scout a guy. Maybe you get some JUCO film on them. But what do you see when you're watching limited film because they've got a new head coach?
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Memphis's offense?
Memphis offense, we know their coaches came from Arizona State, so we really don't have much film on Memphis, but we know that their coaches run a fast-paced offense, they're up-tempo. We've really been preparing for the tempo. We know that with tempo, we're just going to have to be on our P's and Q's a lot more, communicate a lot. As far as the running game, we really want to try to slow the run game down, kind of stop the running game a little bit. We know that they run the ball a lot. They run the ball really well, so we're going to really want to slow that down, and then going to try to get after the quarterback a little bit, try to affect him a little bit with this has been his first year in their system and everything.
So what are your thoughts as you guys get ready to go to Memphis and start your senior season, 2016 season, year 3 for Coach Tuke?
I'm very excited. I mean, we've been waiting for this ever since the last game finished. So, man, it can't get here fast enough. September 3rd, this Saturday, we're just ready to hit 55, head down to Memphis and play.
You'll just be happy to hit somebody with a different color jersey on, right?
Yeah, after camp, you get kind of tired of just banging against your teammates, and then you're just ready to go bang against someone else. Been banging against each other for so long, ready to go bang against someone else in a different color jersey.
How much of an advantage is it that you have so many guys back, 7 returning starters on defense?
That is huge. I mean, when you got a lot of experience on your defense, it really goes from teaching scheme to just getting after. You're able to do more things. You're able to expand your playbook a little bit more. Tendencies. Your coach a lot more. When situations come up, you're kind of prepared to play certain coverages because you've been with that coach. You guys have that relationship. The players you have around you haven't changed much. So I think it really, when you got an experienced defense, you're really able to do a lot more things than if the coach don't know you as well or you don't know the player next to you as well. But in this case, we all know each other very well.
Thanks so much for the time. And are you on Twitter?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get your Twitter handle out there.
Yes, sir. More Nikes. More as in my last name, MOORE, and then NIKEES.
2 E's in Nikes.
Yes, sir.
More Nikes, and Eric with a Q more joining us. All conference safety for the Redhawks. Thanks so much. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
All right, that's Eric Moore. What about the Memphis Tigers? What about this defense? What does Coach Tuke think? We will ask him when we come back. Final segment, the inaugural 2016 Redhawks Coaches Show with Coach Tuke from Wings Etc. Best Wings in Southeast Missouri as voted by the people in the People's Choice Award for the Southeast Missourian. More with Coach Tuke after this on the SEMO ESPN Sports Radio Network.
Growing about Wings Etc. See,
in Cape, and we'll be right back here in the Cape Girardeau location next Tuesday at 12 noon. Stop by and join us and grab some of those award-winning wings. The People's Choice Award winners voted best wings in Southeast Missouri by the voters of the Southeast Missourian. Coach Tuke rejoins us. Good to have Eric Moore on this program. And when you look at the 4 players that you had named preseason all-conference, 3 of them are defensive players.
How about Eric? I mean, what a great job he did. And, man, I could French kiss him for the verbiage you use because he's listening. Like he basically said what his coaches were saying. And so they're listening. That's what excites me about this team is I really feel like you got a bunch of guys that listen to their coaches.
So let's start with a front 7 on this defense because they're awfully good. Across the front line, you've got Fernando Wiggum, Marlon Hampton, Josh Wilson. I want to start with Wilson. At one point, we thought he had torn both of his ACLs last year. I guess it turned out it was only one ACL. What a big recovery process that is. There's a lot of rehab, but he is listed number 1 on the depth chart. And you're talking about a guy that's going up 323 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, really our whole defensive line has done a great job. One guy that we're missing is Travis Sanders. You know, he was by far our best D lineman a year ago. Had knee surgery in September, still's not back. And so that's a concern. But we've got good depth in the D line. And the thing you like about him is if Fernando's not in there or Pop's in there, it doesn't change. Marlon or Josh Wilson or whoever's in there really it doesn't change. And so that allows you to play more guys. And so that in the fourth quarter, you're not as tired and they can't run the ball because we've got to really be able to stop the run this weekend.
Boy, how good are these linebackers? You've got 4 of them,
yes.
And, man, I'm not so sure that they couldn't start on every team in the league. Kendall Donnerson, Terrence Hill, Roper Garrett, one of the captains, and then Chad Meredith, who is just a physical freak at 6'5" as being a linebacker.
Yeah, 3 of those 4 guys are on leadership council too. So not only on the field, but off the field, they do a great job. So in the 3-4, you got to have that, obviously, because those guys are at the point of attack a lot, and we got to keep them healthy. Unfortunately, we got a freshman in the 2 deep there, in Zach All, which is great for him. But because of the injuries and because of the off-the-field issues we've had at that position, we've lost quite a few players. And so we're a little thin there at the linebacker position.
So you need everybody to stay healthy as far as the linebackers go.
Absolutely.
How much depth do you have on the defensive line? That was as deep a position as you had last year.
Yeah, feel the same way, very deep. That's a luxury right now. I know a lot of guys would trade us.
Let's talk about your defensive secondary. 2 all-conference guys in Mike Ford and Eric Moore. Ryan Moore makes the transition from corner to free safety, and then Jamar Holloway, who logged a lot of snaps for you last year.
Those guys have made a lot of plays, and we got depth back there also. J.J. Fly and Steve DeRozier have done a really good job, and so I think you'll see a lot of those guys play. And obviously with Ryan and Eric Moore at the safety spot, we feel really, really good.
And then your specialists, your punter, who I know I'm a homer, but I have a big problem with Alex Knight not being named first team all-conference last year or preseason first team all-conference. If you lead the league in punting average by a full yard and you're on 3 All-American teams, can't you at least be first team all-conference? Eastern Kentucky has a good punter, but Alex Knight out-punted him last year. So you statistically have the best punter in the league. And then Ryan McCrum a couple of years ago was an All-American, and I know has had a good offseason. 2 veteran kickers.
Yeah. I mean, we've made a lot of plays on special teams, and we will always do that. And so other than this weekend, I feel like we'll have the best specialist on the field of anybody we play. And so, those tight games, whether it's flipping the field or making a long field goal, I know we're going to really appreciate having those guys.
At least as far as resumes, this may be the only team whose punting and kicking resume might be a little stronger than yours. I mean, this may be the best punter kicker tandem Memphis as any team that you play.
In the United States,
Their kickers an All-American. Their punter led the average 47.
Yeah,
their kickers made 144 straight PATs. I mean, they've got a good kicking game Saturday.
Yeah, they're really, really good. So that's the challenge. Every big game I've ever won as a coach, we've been able to make a play in special teams. Of course, there's specialists that play, but the other 8 or 9 guys that play on those units have to step up and be the difference in the kicking game.
You have been really good on special teams and in the kicking game, not only returning kicks, Coach, but also in kickoff coverage. You've been among the best in the OVC in returning kicks and in kick coverage. That's a good combination. Cameron Sanders is back to return kicks for you. 99-yard kickoff return against Jacksonville State for a touchdown last year. But returning kicks can really flip field position in football games.
Yeah, those are 2 huge specialists, who our kickoff return and who our punt returner is, because they can make a lot of plays. Kick return is going to be tough this weekend because that guy had 74 touchbacks last year.
It's a lot.
So and I don't think it's going to be a windy day. So those are going to be hard to come by. Punt returner, though, we need to be able to make some plays. That guy's got a cannon, and a lot of times, they'll outkick their coverage, and so maybe we can make a play there. And we're replacing Paul, and so Tremaine McCullough is going to start out there. We also have Al Young and Tyler Manning, and so that's a position that I'm still looking to try and solidify.
Their punter, Spencer Smith, averaged 47 yards in his 3 seasons. This will be season 3, but in his first 2 seasons, he has never had a punt blocked.
Yeah,
I mean that's almost as big as the leg that he has. Gets rid of the football quickly,
and they do a good job. And the coaches before were really, really committed to special teams, so I'm sure that these guys will be the same way. And so, we got our work cut out for us. The last time Memphis played an FCS team, it was 66-3, Missouri State. And you don't beat Ole Miss if you don't have good players. And so we're playing a team that is beat an SEC opponent and dominated an in-state FCS program like ourselves. So we got to come in and just be ready to play so we can stay in the game.
And they played in a bowl game. They played in the Birmingham Bowl, lost to Auburn, but this is a bowl team and a new head coach, Mike Norvell. You mentioned Al Young as a punt returner. We did not see his name on the offensive depth chart. It sounds like we're not going to see his name on the offensive depth chart.
Yeah, we we moved him to corner, and the reason we did that is he's done some really good things. We got to try to find out how to get him on the field. We just don't feel like we can get him ready to go on offense, so we're going to try to get him ready to go on defense. I think it's a lot harder for a true freshman to play on offense than it is defense. And so today will be his first practice at corner. We're going to try to get him ready to go maybe by OVC play. But the goal is to try to get Al Young on the field. But at the end of the day, it's hard to do for a freshman. But certainly he has impressed us with his ability to make plays.
All right, Memphis, they've got two veteran, really good running backs. One goes 215 pounds, one goes 210. Dorcius and Kraft, two very good running backs. Now, the question mark is quarterback, but the JUCO stats Riley Ferguson put up, he was a junior college All-American, 35 touchdown passes, and that was fourth best in the nation, sixth best in passing yards, and he won 2 state titles in high school and was the MVP of the state championship game. So another guy who is playing quarterback whose team has been a winner. That's something you highlighted earlier with Jesse Hoskins.
Yeah. I used to coach at Coffeyville and have strong connections in that league. And, every coach in that league is a big fan of Riley. And he's made a lot of plays, I'm glad that we're facing him in the first game instead of the third game. Yeah. And I don't care if you're Joe Montana. Your first game, just like it would be with Jesse, there's going to be some growing pains there. And so hopefully we can affect him, disguising coverage and pressure and all those things. And, that's why we play the game.
Well, let's hope we have a really good Red Hawk turnout at Memphis. It's about 2 hours, 40 minutes. I mean, it's a pretty short drive.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. We try to have an experience trip once a year. So we're actually going to drive down to St. Jude's. The team will be there at, I think it's 11 o'clock. Our team's going to tour the facility. We're going to be able to have some stuffed animals we're going to give to some young people. And I don't think our kids realize what St. Jude's all about. They don't realize that, 80% of the money they receive is $20 or under. And the difference that they make, a family here in town that lost their child is actually coming to speak to my team on Thursday. St. Jude's impacting Cape Girardeau, Jackson. Like, even though it's in Memphis, like this hospital has affected a lot of people. And so I can't wait for that. We're going there, so we're going to hit up some barbecue, right?
Oh, you better believe it.
Yep. So Friday night meals at Rendezvous, and there's a lot of debate. So I don't know if you're a Central
Well, you got a lot of
barbecue
Memphis guys. They probably have different barbecue places.
They'll tell me about it all through practice too. About we should have went to Central or wherever, but we're going to go enjoy this trip. These kids have earned it.
And as far as the game plan going in against the University of Memphis, what's the game plan going in?
Win the game.
Great game plan. And the first 2 games on the road. So this is an opportunity for your team early on to bond. And bonding takes place away from home, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I appreciate our athletic director and Brady Barkey. He thought we really need some help with team building, so he got 5 of the 7 on the road. I'm actually kidding. The schedule was set way before him, but that's why we went to Kirkwood. This is our second road trip. Our players were, why are we going to Kirkwood? Well, we're going to Memphis. This is the second time we've been on the road already, and so we got to be able to handle that. And who doesn't love a road trip, right? Hopefully I see everybody at the game. That's why we scheduled the game. We take a picture of the stadium. All right, and I'll know who isn't there. So we scheduled this game so you all could go. Instead of going to Alaska to play a game where none of our fans can go, where this is a game, let's go celebrate and get down to Beale Street afterwards and enjoy college football.
And hopefully the Redhawks will be out there and tailgate, because we want to let everybody know fans will be permitted to set up their tents, tables, and grills in the tailgate area. In the game area, game day parking near the tailgate is $15 per spot. It's available on a first-come, first-served basis, and grills are permitted on the paved surfaces there as we get ready to tailgate. Hopefully, we'll be tailgating big. It's going to be fun. Can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah, great weather, right? It's going to be low 80s, high 70s by game time, and this is what it's all about. We waited all year for opening week, and just, I think no matter what happens when you come out there, I think you'll enjoy what this team has.
Coach, thanks so much. We will see you in Memphis on Saturday.
Go Redhawks.
All right, that's Coach Tuke. Don't forget, follow Eric Moore on Twitter. More Nikes, MOORENIKEES. We thank the Redhawks All-Conference Safety for joining us. And again, kickoff is at 6. Hope to see you there. If not, you can listen on SEMO ESPN 92.9 FM and all season on Real Rock 99.3 FM and down online, SEMOESPN.com. And you can listen on the SEMO ESPN app for your smartphone as well. Stay tuned. We've got Rosillo and Cannell coming up next on ESPN Radio. We'll be right back here next Tuesday for another edition of the Redhawks Coaches Show. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. So long from Wings, etc.